Today, cranberry mango wine. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. Hey everybody. Alright, so we're going to be doing a small batch of wine today. So what we are going to be using is we're going to be using the Ocean Spray Cran Mango. And looking at the ingredients on here, everything looks good. It doesn't look like there's any preservatives or anything like that. So this should make for a very interesting wine. For this wine, we are going to be utilizing D47. Now, why D47? Well, it's because I have a lot of it, and I want to use it before I use other things. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to go ahead and mix this up real quick, and we're going to be doing it in a 1 gallon jug that's been sanitized and it's ready to go. A lot of people don't want to make larger batches like what I did in the first wine video where I utilized a 2 gallon bucket. I'll put a link somewhere up here in the description where you can check that one out. This will make more of a manageable amount. So first things first, what we're going to do is rehydrate the yeast. Now when you're making a batch of wine, a lot of people seem confused on how much yeast to add. And my general rule of thumb is half a pack for up to 3 gallons, and then a full pack for anything above 3 gallons. If it's exactly 3 gallons, let your conscience be your guide. So, I have a partial D47, that might be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rehydrate my yeast first and foremost. And what I like to do is take some of the juice that we're going to be fermenting with. There we go. Ooh, that smells good. And then what I'm going to do is sprinkle in my yeast. Let's see. Yeah, I may need a little bit more than that. So that's not a problem. I'll go and add a portion of this yeast to it. There we go. That'll be good. And then what I'll do is I'm going to fold this up and take a piece of tape and seal that up, and that's going back in my refrigerator for my next batch. Now, like I said, all I'm doing is hydrating this yeast, and that's to kind of get things going. It's not a yeast starter. A yeast starter involves much more complicated equipment than what I have and what I care to own. I've never used a yeast starter for beers or wines or ciders or anything of that nature. Some people swear by them. I've never had to use them, and I get perfectly fine results. Okay, so we're going to set that there. And in the meantime, what we're going to do is we are going to prepare our wine. Now, everything here has been sanitized. My jug, my hydrometer, my cylinder, airlock, bung, everything ready to go. So first thing I want to do is with a dry funnel, I want to add my sugar. Now I'm going to be putting in about 2 cups of sugar for this gallon because this is a cranberry and mango. I do want it to finish a little sweet. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. And I like to add it first because, let's face it, if you try and add sugar through a wet funnel, you're going to have a big mess. All right, now I'm going to add my first installment of juice. Just like that. Now, what I want to do is I need to get all this sugar mixed in. That way we don't have any yuckiness on the bottom. We get maximum fermentation and everything. So what I'm going to do is take the stopper or the bung, and I'm going to put that in. And then putting my thumb over the hole, I'm just going to shake the bejesus out of it. Now by doing this, I'm doing two things. One, I'm mixing up all this sugar. But two, I'm oxygenating this must. Remember, with beer it's wort, with wine it's must. Now when you first start your fermentation, the yeast need oxygen in order to get happy and make their colony. And then by only putting in the first jug, the partial, I'm able to put all that sugar into suspension, get it all mixed up, and not have to try and shake a whole gallon. Okay, good. So I'm going to take the stopper out, put that back in my sanitizer. Now this foam, this is two different things. One, this is oxygen, but two, it could be residual star sand from the sanitization, which is not a big deal at all. It's not going to affect our beverage in any way, shape, or form. Let me look at the bottom one time. Yeah, that looks like I got it all mixed in very well. Good. So now I'm going to open the other one, and I'm going to take this up to a certain level. I'm going to go about there. Now the reason I stopped right there, two reasons. One, I've got all this foam. I want to give it a chance to kind of settle first before I do anything. Now also, I still have my yeast that I have rehydrating that still has to go in. You want to allow for plenty of headroom when you're making your wines, because otherwise this stuff can come up and make a huge, huge mess. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my stopper again, and then this time I don't have to shake it up as much. I'm just trying to incorporate the sugared portion of the juice into the fresh juice I just added. And hopefully maybe knock a little foam down. That would be nice. Alright, good. Now I'm going to take my stopper off again, put back in my star sand. Now I'm going to pitch my yeast. So, oh yeah, I can smell it going already. And we're just going to pour all of that goodness in. Then I'm going to take a little more in my cup. And I'm just going to kind of swirl that around, see if there's any residual yeasts that want to come along for the ride. Now, pour that through. I think I'm going to add a little bit more because I do want to get a good amount of this. I have high hopes for this wine. I haven't tried this one before, so we're trying this one together. Let's see. As far as the foam, I'm not worried about the foam. I'm going to call that good. I'm not going to get too greedy. Now, you'd say, well, Brandon, what do you do with the rest of the juice that's left over? Drink it. It's good stuff. Now, what I want to do is see where my starting gravity is on this to see if it's going to be close to what I'm looking for and allow for some sweetness to permeate through at the end. So, as always, with our turkey baster, I'm going to take a hydrometer reading of our must. And this has real pretty color. But that mango really, the smell of the mango really comes through on this. All right. Now, give it a little stir and a spin. And let's see where our hydrometer is. Okay, we're at 1.102, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, 1.102. I think we need a little more sugar. Hold on, I'm going to get another half cup of sugar, and you know what? I'm going to get a full cup of sugar. I'll be right back. And we're going to, well, first off, I'm going to pour this back in. And I'm going to get some more sugar because I want that that original gravity higher than that, because I do want this to retain some sweetness. So I'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. Let's go ahead and add this sugar, and then we'll take a reading, and after we mix it in, and we'll see where it takes us at that point. Well, here comes the foam. I may wind up having to keep our test sample out because you can see I'm losing a lot of headroom, and I don't want this blowing off on me. See, and right there, we're going to have fun mixing this one up. So, let me clean this off here. And I want to clean the inside here for our stopper. That way we don't have anything that's going to prevent it from sealing for when we shake it up. Dry off the stopper, just make sure we have good seal. And we're going to mix this in. And see where this takes us to. And if you find yourself in this situation, you'll see what I was talking about, how it's easier to do half a gallon than a full gallon. Can you imagine having to do this with a 5-gallon carboy? Now, I'll stick with the smaller batches. Besides, it's just the wife and I. The kids are all grown, so I pretty much make for us. How long do you mix it for? I usually mix it up, let it sit for a second, mix it up some more, let it sit for another second, mix it one last time, then I'll take my reading. And then I'll know that everything is mixed up well. I think one more shake and we can call this one good. All right, so now I'll take my stopper out. Put it in the tar stand. Okay. Now, you remember what I started off originally with headroom before I added the second batch of sugar. This is no-go zone. I want it back down here. So what I'm going to do is when I take this sample, I'm not going to be adding it back into here like I normally would. And that's just because I don't want this going everywhere when it starts to ferment. So, take my sample. There we go. And seeing, to me, that's a perfect amount of headroom. So let's see where we are. Well, we overshot it by just a touch. I was going for 1.115. We got 1.120. I'm good with that. I can live with that. So, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take my bung, or my stopper, put that in, and I'm going to get my airlock. And I'm going to put star sand in my airlock. Put my cap on. Push this in. Bada boom, bada boom. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any easier than that. We have made 1 gallon of wine. Now, this is going to go in my closet to ferment. I'm going to check it, and I should have activity in the airlock within 12 to 24 hours. But I'm going to check and see in about 2 weeks. See if there's activity still going on, see if any of it's settled out. And if it's still going, I'm going to give it another week or two. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rack it, to another vessel, take another gravity reading, put it back into the closet for at least 2 or 3 more weeks for conditioning to allow any residual solids to fall out to make our wine nice and clear. Then after that, it'll be time to rack it out of the secondary and degas and put it into bottles. All right, so what I'll do is I'll see you guys in a few weeks when this is ready for the first racking into what they call secondary fermentation, or what we like to say is conditioning. So until then, if you have any questions, please drop me a comment, or you can shoot me an email that's in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe and tell your friends and family about this. And anybody can learn how to make wine. It's just this simple. All right, guys, you have a great one, and I'll see you soon.